Hey guys, Gray here with another Destiny 2 PvP video. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the new exotic heavy machine gun we got during Guardian games, the Heir Apparent. If you guys haven't checked this thing out, it is an extremely unique and super badass exotic heavy that we just got access to. You were able to unlock this during the Guardian games event if you completed 7 of the available triumphs during the event. But fear not, if you didn't get it, if you didn't complete the triumphs, I understand it's kind of a dry period right now, but it will come back into the loot pool at a future season, so you'll be able to get it then. But I wanted to make a video and talk about why I think it's a top tier pick for your heavy slot, especially with some of the other meta guns in your primary and secondary slot being legendary weapons. It leaves you the slot for an exotic. And this one I think is an extremely good pick because it has extremely high kill potential. When you loot a heavy brick in a Crucible game, it's going to give you 68 rounds in the magazine, and that gives you a lot of potential to rack up a ton of kills, which is not always the case with heavies. You know, sometimes if you have a rocket, you're a one and done. A grenade launcher, you might be able to get 3 or 4, but with this gun, I'm able to consistently get 5, 6, maybe even 7 kills, depending on, how you pick your engagements. So I want to talk about the gun a little bit, and if you enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like below and consider subscribing to the channel so I can keep you up to date on all the latest Destiny 2 news, all my latest builds and gun reviews and things like that. I'm going to be, ramping things up a little bit on the channel. I haven't really done a gun review, but this one stood out to me, so I wanted to take some time to talk about it. So I mostly want to talk about, my experiences with the gun and what kind of subclasses I think are most beneficial to use. Not that you should really base your build or class around what heavy you're running, but there are some subclasses that really can take advantage of this gun in different unique ways. But starting off, I want to go over the gun and talk about the perks on it. So if we take a look here, we have the Heir Apparent, obviously. The exotic perk on this gun is Heavy Slug Thrower, and you hold ADS or right click on PC to spin up the barrel, and the weapon can only be fired once the barrel is fully spinning up. So that's pretty interesting in and of itself. You can't actually aim down sights with this weapon. You're going to hold your ADS to spin up the barrel. But one thing that I noticed that can kind of negate that disadvantage is when you're going up to the heavy brick, you can start spinning up the barrel on the gun as you're looting the heavy brick, and by the time you get the ammo, you're spun up and ready to go. It's a nice little trick you can pull off with this gun. The other huge perk on here is this one right here, Armor of the Colossus. While you're at full health and the gun is fully spun up, you're going to get an arc overshield. It actually shows up like a bubble around you. And this has a lot of super interesting implications to me because we don't typically get, we actually don't have anything that gives us arc, void, or solar overshields in Crucible. And most of the time, it's not really going to matter what element of, weapon you're using when you're going against another player. But it actually, one unique disadvantage of this gun is that if someone hits you with an arc weapon, it is going to deal extra damage, and when it breaks the shield, it's just like a mob in PvE. If you break an arc shield with an arc weapon, you're gonna take a little extra damage. But there's a few ways that we can kind of negate all of the disadvantages on this gun, and that's mainly what I want to talk about and why I found success with it on my Titan. So naturally, if we're looking at all the subclasses that Titan has to offer, there's one that at least I gravitated to almost immediately, and that's in the Sentinel subclass with the top tree, and that's because we gain access to the Ward of Dawn. It's the big Titan bubble, we've all seen it, and it helps us in a number of ways when we're using a gun like this. It negates almost all of the negative aspects of Heir Apparent. So not only, you can see in some of the clips, you can run up to the heavy and drop your bubble on the heavy and secure it and make sure you're getting it consistently. You can run right up, drop your bubble. Not only is that going to give you weapons of light, it's going to secure the heavy for you, but you can immediately begin spinning up your weapon, and you're sitting inside of your Titan bubble with weapons of light, and you have a second overshield on top of it. It's absolutely nutty, and you can peek out of your bubble and feel completely safe. A lot of times people will sit there with a sniper ready to pop you, the second you get out of your bubble, but you'll have this overshield, which is going to help you safely peek. And you can peek out, get a kill, go right back in your bubble and refresh your buff and keep that. And it makes this thing absolutely lethal. That buff lasts for 15 seconds. And, you know, I guess another drawback you could say is that you walk really slow while you're using this. But it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you can peek out of the bubble and you can just mow people down. It's really awesome, and it's a really fun subclass to use with this type of weapon. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about that I just find is another good strength of this weapon is how incredible it is at melting supers. You can see I have a couple of clips in the gameplay here that you can see I'm just annihilating a couple of supers as they're rushing at me full strength. I've had a Striker Titan rushing straight at me, and I just annihilate him before he even gets to me. And same with a Spectral Blades Hunter, and that's not easy to do. There's not a lot of weapons that give you the potential to shut down a Spectral Blade while he's rushing straight at you. They can take a lot of damage, and they're typically very difficult to kill. And this weapon, it just makes it a breeze to take out supers. It feels extremely powerful to run some synergy with this exotic. I've seen a couple other builds online. You can use this with like a Devour Warlock as well. If you have your Devour buff going, every time you get a kill, it puts you back at full health, which is going to keep your overshield going on the gun, and you can just continue to chain your kills together. That's an extremely powerful build as well. I just have a lot of fun with it on my Titan. It just works well with my play style. And so this is just a quick video. I wanted to talk about the gun and showcase it a little bit. I've had a lot of fun using this in all sorts of different environments in Crucible. You know, quick play, competitive, trials. It's worked for me across the board. So I wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you were able to unlock it during the Guardian games. If not, you'll get your hands on it soon enough. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's just a quick one today talking about how I feel with Heir Apparent. But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video again, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.